Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Barn Grill. Actually, the final edition of, actually not the final, but the final live edition.
Yeah, anyway, we'll be back for Breeders' Cup in a couple weeks, but yeah, this is it for the Hastings season. It all comes down to this, an eight race card.
4 stakes.
Yeah, 4 very good stakes, as well as the endurance race. So yeah, we go with a bang. Very good card they put together for the final day. Big fields.
$2,400 carryover
That's
going into the Saturday program. $2,460. A Sea to Sky Pick 6 going into the Saturday program. Obviously, if it carries over to the Sunday program, that it'll be a mandatory payoff, and it could be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So something to look at. Hopefully, it gets over the $5,000 mark on Saturday, and then something very playable on Sunday. Race. The race kicks off with a maiden 4,000 for 3 and up Colts and Geldings going a mile on the 16th. Field of 6 in here. I actually went to the girl in here, Perry Ann. She's been very close her last 2 times. Has done a form that's improving. Lopez is riding her. She is in against boys here, but they aren't obviously the most accomplished boys. And I like the fact that Lenny Ciceron is aboard, gets in with 102 pounds, and he can do the weight going a mile 16th. That could make a difference for the Rob Maben bred and trained Perry Ann. Have her on top of the 2 Act Up, probably the horse to beat in here. Big closing second behind Cash Hit last time. Good number for the distance. He was making his first start at the distance, but the relative numbers are very good for this outfit going, sprint to a route. And I threw in Last Bloom, who's had a couple sprints. You go back to his long races for Trainer Mel Snow.
Best races were long.
And yeah, it's second behind Threeberry, second behind My Boy Seamus, 1, 6, and 2 for me.
I'm going to try the 5 Red Denim on the stretch.
I know, I left him out.
There's no speed in the race.
Live,
and I just think Red Denim, who, as I mentioned on the Saturday program, anyone running on October 8th day that was on the inside and with speed was really it was a real disadvantage.
Yeah.
And Red Denim ran game right to the wire. And as I mentioned, speed did not hang on that day. And this horse tried to win it. And I just think this horse might be able to route. We'll see.
Yeah. He's a new man, so.
He's definitely has a pedigree, and perhaps you're not going to get a huge price on the horse anyway. You might get 4 to 1. But Red Denim's, I'm going to try him to defeat the 6 Act Up, who ran well. Obviously, after the disappointing race prior to that one, he obviously didn't finish the race back in September, but still came back 10 days later to run very well. And I put the 4-horse King Blue in the mix for 3rd. I went 5, 6, and 4 to start off the closing day program at Hastings. Started your early pick 4 on the race number 2. Got some. It's an optional 62. Not optional. It's a starter 6250 claimer. If you've started for 6250 or less throughout the early part of the season, you can run protected, and if you haven't, then you have to run for the 6250 or offer the horse. They're going a mile and a half in here. I like the 1 horse, What Goes Around. He probably should have won last time, but Citron Kid was given a big gift by sneaking through on the inside of What Goes Around. Kind of caught maybe Reyes sleeping a little bit when he was relaxed at the 3/8 pole, and Silvino Morales rode a great race, got through on the inside. That was enough to make him win by half a length or 3/4 of his length, whichever it was. Wasn't much between the 2, but those are the 2 horses. It's 1-6 or 6-1, and I went What Goes Around to defeat Citron Kid, and I put the 2-horse Perfectly Reckless in for 3rd.
I don't know much to add. I went the other way, Citron Kid, just because he's a horse with a lot of confidence right now. 1, 2 in a row, going the right way.
Big weight switch, too. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, 18
122.
to 22.
No, that matters going a mile.
Picks up 6 pounds off his last venture, and What Goes Around picks up nothing. But yeah, Citron Kid over What Goes Around. I don't think there's a whole lot, as you mentioned, that separates those 2. Any of my tickets, I'll have both those 2 on it. I went 6 with 1, and I threw Step Up for the Money, who can be tough at this distance. I threw him in for 3rd. Good horse going long. 6, 1, and 3 for me in the 2nd. On to the 3rd, the BC Cup debutante, 2-year-old girls.
First of 4 stakes on the day.
That's right. 5 of them going 6.5 furlongs. Obviously, Raider is the horse to beat in here. She's run 2nd twice to Here's Hannah, and Here's Hannah will be the top 2-year-old filly.
Yes, too bad she didn't show up. She was pointed for this race. Not sure what happened, but Here's Hannah did not show up in the entry booth.
She's a baby, so I'm sure they did the right thing by her and just
said
did
everything she could do. She's a champ.
See you next year.
She did everything she could do, and she's an amazing filly.
So Raider will be the favorite here. Richard Hamill, Greg Tracy, who is dynamite with his 2-year-olds. But I'm going to try and beat her with under par. A horse that ran for 16 first up, but we have seen 16 horses. 2-year-olds that run for 16 can come up and be competitive. with allowance horses.
16's been the number this year. Awesome Slate won the premiers.
That's right.
Notice the Jewel won the Ballerina.
Yeah, she's running for 16.
I know those are older horses, but still, $16,000.
What was it? Suzette, one of Greg Tracy's. She ran first out for 16.
Yep.
It was a very tough filly.
Yep.
Underpar got a 62 buyer that day. It is her first time around 2 turns, but she's in good hands. Mark Cluche having a great year. Antonio Reyes. And goes on the Lasix program. Wasn't even on Lasix in her first start. That could move her forward as well. So I'm trying Underpar to defeat Raider. And I threw Sonoma, who's, 3 starts, 3 thirds, all in tough races. She'll probably be third again today. Nice daughter of Napa. I went 2, 1, and 3.
Yeah, I agree with you. Top 3. I went to Raider to win it, but I can see her. If that race didn't exhaust her, she tried to win the race and tried to chase Here's Hannah through that 111 and change opening 6 furlongs, and it cost her. She was stumbling down to the line and almost lost.
Usain Bolt.
She almost lost second, and still, if that race didn't actually, she has something more to give after that race, then she's going to win. Raider for me to win it. Underpar, you're right. That's the next best horse. That's an interesting horse that ran a very fast.
I feel like if somebody beats Raider, it's her.
Oh, and the work pattern's been great. A minute and change. Mark's had a great season, and this horse has speed, and maybe that's the one that might be able to upset Raider. And Sonoma I put in for third as well. This horse was scratched in the fantasy, was hurt herself in the gate, and obviously didn't run, but Dino's kept her. Obviously came back fine, and she's come back for this particular race. And if those two get into a speed duel, Sonoma could win it. She's a big daughter. She's a huge daughter of Tatey. She is tall. She's like almost 17 hands high. She's a big filly. 1-2-3 for me in the BC Cup debutante. On this 4th race, this is the BC Cup Distaff, fillies and mares, going a mile and an 1/8. I ended up on the 4, Notice the Jewel. Once again, another one that took advantage of an outside bias and a speed, closer bias, and she ran a big race, but she's on a roll. She's just running good races, and she picks up some weight to 124 pounds. But I really was trying to pick Yukon Bell, but it's really tough. Notice the Jewel is just running so well.
She's so good right now.
And Exit 60 Slew and being in the race, I think may compromise Yukon Bell a little bit, who was pretty busy, who I picked second, was pretty busy with Citizen Kitty last time and put that one away, and then it was immediately tackled by...
She's a warrior, Mario.
Right away, Mario came at her, and then it was like she had no breathers throughout the entire race, and she kept battling. She only lost by 3 lengths against older mares. I know she's running against older mares again, but this is an easier older mare race. Pace-wise, maybe not. Notice the Jewel is very nice. She's going great right now. But I just think Yukon Bell's live in here, and I put the 1 ceiling for the Sun in for third. She ran another good race for Robbie Anderson in the Foundation Stables, and Sahin Savachi gave a good ride, sitting just off the pace. She's to be really good when she settles just in behind the leaders, and she runs good. When she has a target to run at, she's very good. I went 4-3-1.
I agree. I've yet to pick Notice the Jewel this year, and she's proven me wrong every time. I'm not making that mistake today. I'm going to go with her. I thought a really impressive move in the Ballerina. It looked like Mario when he passed Yukon Bell. Looked like Mario had it, and here come Notice the Jewel with a huge move.
Yeah, the outside closers were just doing so well.
But she had
she
lots.
Wouldn't have needed the bias anyway.
But she had lots left.
She was
she was rolling. So I'm going to go right back to Notice the Jewel. I put 86 Slew, the Blaine Wright horse, in the second spot. She's won 2 in a row at Emerald Downs. One was for 20, but then she did upset Citizen Kitty in the Washington Cup. The Washington Cup version of this race, which those horses are eligible here too. And Blaine Wright, what a year he had down at Emerald.
Yep.
26% guy up and down the West Coast. Amadeo Perez picks up the call. 86 Slew for me in second, and Yukon Bell, I agree. The 3-year-old filly ran a huge race in the Ballerina, an even bigger race actually in the BC Oaks, going a mile and an 1/8. She's run 2 good races, going a mile and an 1/8. I expect her to run another good one. 4, 5, and 3 for me in the distaff. On to the 5th, the nursery. It's boys' turn. Unlike the girls, there's 9 in here, going 6.5 furlongs.
A pile of them.
And where you could pretty much narrow it down to a few, or 1 or 2 in the girls' race, this one is much tougher. I had a tough time with this race. I went to Wise Market. Wins the Jack Diamond Futurity, then wins the Ascot Graduation when nobody thought he could go that long. Coming back to a sprint, this horse is solid. Has worked well coming into this, 48 flat. Wise Market for me on top. After that, you can start making cases for a lot of these horses. Weekend Wizard looks very live. Very impressive win his maiden special rate. What scares me off is when he was tackling Stakes Company, he was getting beat. Got beat fairly handily in the Jack Diamond. Came back in a maiden special weight. I'm not sure how tough that race was. He did win by 8, but those were easier horses than what he faces in here today. This is a class test for him. But I got him in second. And I threw Ruggiero in. I liked him in the Ascot.
My horse, you're jumping on my horse.
I am. Oh, Ruggiero. Back to a sprint for him, but he did break his maiden sprinting, and there could be enough pace in there to set it up well. Look for him to be closing late. And it's Scott Williams, 5-3-1 for me in a race that has a lot, European I left out. The chances are, give me some slack, could bounce back with a big effort, but I went 5-3-1.
I agree. Those are the top 3 horses. I went Weekend Wizard on top, though. I know you're right. This horse in Stakes Company hasn't fared all that well, especially in the Jack Diamond Futurity. This horse did encounter some trouble in that race, though.
Yeah.
This horse had no troubles last time. I went down there in 16 and change. That's what flattered me. I was just floored by.
He's got a 62 buyer.
Like Wisemark has done everything right. This horse is just a running machine right now. It's just a great 2-year-old that's like sound and just running good races after good race and beating up on the competition. Did I like Wisemark last time going along? Absolutely not.
Nope.
And
none of us picked
proved me wrong, and this horse ran huge. Chased a decent pace and just kept on running. The only negative is coming back to a sprint, and sometimes with young horses, coming back to a sprint may, you get a horse to relax, to go long, and all of a sudden you bring him back. You need that zip again. They can't always change gears like that that easily. But Weekend Wizard, 116-4. This horse is on Sprint King. Anyway, I agree, 3-5-1. But I just put Weekend Wizard on top, though, in the BC Cup Nursery under race number 6. This is the BC Cup Classic for 3-year-olds and upwards, going a mile and an eighth. Looks like the competition is down on the inside with the 2 Lord Vancouver and the 3 Crazy Prophet. I just see some speed in here, which is why I'm leaning towards Crazy Prophet. He was second behind Awesome Slate in the premiers. He was second behind Highway Boss prior to that in the Randall Plate. And he's a horse that's sitting, against BC Breds. This is a lot easier race. You got Santa Fe Trail, BC Charlie, on the outside, Power Corrupt. There's Rebus. There's going to be a pace in here, which may just make Lord Vancouver a little vulnerable. I like 3-2, and I put Power Corrupt to. How can you fault him? 142? Are you kidding me?
That was an impressive race last time.
142-4.
That was an impressive
race.
Like
crazy
against decent horses. Calgary Caper and Square Dancer.
That was huge.
Just ran away from them.
And it was kind of had some moisture in the track. He's definitely going to get moisture in the track.
Yes, he will.
Way more than last time, but. I can't even throw that horse out. That horse is live. I went 3-2 and 8. I don't love Crazy Prophet. I mean, this horse is my top pick, but I can see a bunch of them winning this.
Yeah,
this is a wide open classic. 3-2-8.
I agree with Crazy Prophet. He's run 2 very good races his last 2. Second behind the Highway Boss, defeating Never a Doubt at the wire for second.
Yeah.
Clear second last time behind Awesome Slate. A very good run in the premiers. 3 starts. Going a mile and an eighth, he's got a win in 2 seconds. He always shows up going long. I agree. I got Crazy Prophet on top. And in races you mentioned, it should set up well for him. He should have something to run at. I put John's other horse, Sergeant Rick, in the second spot. This horse is, whenever he's run long, he's run very good.
It's a nice horse.
Broke his maiden early on, going long, beating Santa Fe Trail. Then he came back into back sprinting 3 times. Ran very good too in the slop. Second behind Silvertown, then came back, just got beat ahead by Silvertown. Then last time going a mile 16th, gets to stretch his legs out, wins by 2. I think he's coming into the race well, and I think he will relish the distance.
July's the only problem with me.
I know. He's been off a long time, but John does very well.
He does. I know. This wasn't. I know. I talked to John about this horse, and there was no real.
Great spot for him,
super spot, other than running him against the best horses on the grounds. And they were trying to get him in an optional claimer, and they never could, and nothing went going long. But this wasn't the game plan to come into the race off a big 3-month layoff. But that's the only negative about him, is just the big 3-month layoff.
But
he's good enough, I agree.
Yeah, I do like him going a mile and an eighth. So I got him in second, and I agree, Power Corrupt off that last race has to be respected in here. So I went, what was it? 3, 6, and 8 for me in the Classic. On the 7th, a 4 non-3 for Fillies and Mares.
Another classic.
A mile and a 16th. Another classic distance of a mile 16th, $4,000 event. Field at 10. Another 3-pager. Good.
That's good.
3-page race here.
Big field.
Who'd I go to? I went down to the rail, Free and Fast, out of the Robbie Anderson barn. She ran higher throughout all of her career, even this year running in the sale stake against Dazzle Dawn. Yep. Got aggressive off that. Went into a 4 on 2. Wins by 5, going to mile 16th. I just, at the $4,000 level, I think she is super tough. I see no reason why she can't come back at a non-3 event and run a similar kind of race. I got Free and Fast on top of the 7, Miss Finality. Not sure about her going the distance, but when she has tried the distance,
tricky thing with her.
when she did go the distance, she ran into Notice the Jewel. So no problem, getting beat by there. This is the first time she's gone a distance at this level. Miss Me Not was decent going long, so I'm going to try Miss Finality in the 2nd spot. And put Flaming Youth in the 3rd spot. You go back to her distance races are very good. Getting beat by Irish Lass, who's a very tough horse going long.
She's been consistent.
Yeah, very consistent. 1, 7, and 9 for me.
I agree. Free and Fast horse to beat. Probably the key for me in the late pick 4.
Yeah.
Free and Fast looked good winning it on 2 last time. I just think that the distance is what she wants, and I don't see anyone in here that's going to scare her at all. I put Miss Finality in for 2nd, and I put the 8 Belly Girl in for 3rd. Those are the next 2. And Flaming, it was Flaming Youth, Belly Girl, and Miss Finality. The 7, 8, 9 for me are jumbled for 2nd. The 1 for me is up
The
here.
horse. But I like
this is the horse to beat.
I went to Flaming Youth. She ran against Hippie and Halloween Queen out of her condition last time. Only got beat a length and a half, so I like that.
Back in a non-3, you're right. But I went 1, 7, and 8 in race number 7. On to the 2017 finale at lovely Hastings Racecourse. We got a field of 8 fillies and mares here, $4,000 maidens to go 6.5 furlongs. We're going to end off with number 1.
Who's going to win the last?
Barb. We're going to get Barb into the winner's circle. 1, Gold Girl. Gets back in against the girls. Was running against the boys last time. Was in a tough spot. Barb's got 2 or 3 different maidens, Cash Spiel and Cascadia, and just to not run 3 or 4 of them all in one race. Ended up running her against the boys. And her race prior to that behind Miss Finality against Winters wasn't a bad race. This is a race that, I don't know, she's going to get the lead in here. I think she's got to get the lead. I put Pretty Soon in for 2nd and moved to the Pat Jarvis barn. This horse has been sold since his last race, or her last race, and I thought ran a pretty good race. Again, behind Oh So Quick, and I put the 4 horse Darren got 20. If I don't know who to put in, Cascadia or Darren got 20, or Future Games or Bama. I had no one that was all that interested in for 3rd, but Gold Girl in a grab bag to finish it. 1-5-4.
It is tough. I'm going to go to Marianne Baumgartner.
Twink
to win the last.
Good.
Got beat by very tough Oh So Quick last time. Oh So Quick had been sitting on a win. She'd had a bunch of seconds at this level. So she got beat by a decent horse there. And that was coming off a layoff. She's been off since August. Good 2nd. I think she can move forward and win the nightcap. I don't have any clever picks here. I just went right through the horses. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th to Oh So Quick last time. Future Games, Darren got 20 Pretty Soon. 3, 4, 5 for me. In the final race of the season, that'll do it for our analysis of the Hastings season. Up next on screen, as always, are our picks. Mike.
Here we go. Back on race number 1. I went to the 5. Red Denim. I'm going to go 5, 6, and 4. Race number 2 went to the 1. What goes around? I'm going to go 1, 6, and 2 in the marathon. Race number 3, the 1 Raider is going to be the one to beat, but it's an interesting race. I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3 in the BC Cup debutante. On to the 4th race. This is the BC Cup Distaff. The 4 Notice the Jewel, definitely the one to beat. The 3 horse Yukon Bell, and the 1 Sailing for the Sun is going to be the 2 fillies I put behind her. The 5. In the race number 5, the BC Cup Nursery, I went to the 3 Weekend Wizard, maybe to upset the 5 Wise Market. I'm going to go 3, 5, and 1. Race number 6, this is the BC Cup Classic. I went to the 3 Crazy Profit over the 2 Lord Vancouver, and the 8 Power Corrupt. And the 7th, I went to the 1 Free and Fast. Looks probably one of the better bets of the day. I went 1, 7, and 8. And in the 8th and final, I went to the 1 Gold Girl. I'm going to go 1, 5, and 4.
On to my picks, there we go. Back in the 1st, I went to the filly, Perry Ann, to upset the boys over the 6 and the 2. In the 2nd, I went to the 6, Citron Kid, the endurance race, over the 1, What Goes Around, the 3 Step Up for the Money. In the 3rd, the debutante, I went to the 2, trying for a little bit of an upset here, Under Par over the 1 Raider and the 3 Sonoma. In the 4th, the Distaff, I went to the reigning champ, the mare that will be our top older mare here at Hastings this year, Notice the Jewel over the 586 Slew and the 3 Yukon Bell. In the 5th, the Juvenile, I went to the very tough 2-time, we got horses won our last 2 stakes. Wise Market, the 5 over the 3 Weekend Wizard and the 1 Rogerio. In the 6th, the Classic. I went to the horse who won the Classic last year. Number 3, Crazy Profit over the 6 Sergeant Rick and the 8 Power Corrupt. In the 7th, I agree with Mike. Going to be very tough in here. Number 1, Free and Fast with the 7 and the 9. And the nightcap to close it, I went to Twink's horse. Number 3, Future Games over the 4 and the 5.
Well, that'll do it for the final edition of the final
2017,
Hastings,
season,
edition
yes.
of Handicappers Corner. Just a reminder that in a couple of weeks we will be doing a Breeders'
Yep.
Cup. That's a tough. We're going to get tested. We've had some 5, 6, 7,
Yes.
and 8
Yeah,
horse
exactly.
fields to handicap, which
There will not be a
kinda
4,000
cleverly.
non-2
We got
with
some
5
14.
horses, yeah.
We got some 14 horse fields to handicap
With
in the
horses that have
Breeders'
never
Cup.
run against each other, they come from
Yeah.
different countries.
I know.
It's tough.
We better get studying right now.
Yes, exactly.
We have 2 weeks. Anyway, we will be
The
doing
Ouija
a
board.
special Breeders' Cup edition. Of course, the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar this year, Friday, November the 3rd.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And Saturday, November the 4th. Of course, as Drew mentioned on our last show, still have some seats available. You can elaborate, but seats available for the Breeders' Cup.
Yep,
weekend.
just phone us here. Ask for me, Drew, or Kasha. The number is 604-536-2978. We'll get you on our reservation list. Absolutely the best place around to watch the Breeders' Cup.
Great buffet. You got lots of
we do a
great
big
food.
buffet.
It's great coverage. They have the NBC feed or whatever station is covering it.
NBC.
It's
so
all
the
on
NBC,
high def and
as well as obviously the simulcast from there. We have a lot of betting machines. There'll be lots of action here. The Friday as well as the Saturday. Reservations not needed are recommended on Friday, but you do need a reservation to get in here on Saturday.
Definitely on Saturday.
So we do have a few, as I mentioned. 604-536-2978. Give us a call. Hope to see you here on Breeders' Cup Day. Thank you all for tuning in to the 2017 season.
Yes.
Hastings, those of you that tune in and watch us every week. Sorry about most of our picks, but we do get the odd winner here and there.
We do get the odd one. On behalf of Drew, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on Breeders' Cup
Yes.
edition for Handicappers Corner. Good luck, everyone, on your weekend wagers.